So recently I went to a resale shop or a thrift shop, same thing really, whatever you want to call it. I went there and searched for video games, and I actually found quite a few more games than I thought I would. To be honest, I thought I would find 0 games, but I actually ended up finding a whole bag of games. But today we're only going to be checking out one of those games I found, and it actually came with the whole case and everything, and seeing if it even works in the first place, because when I seen it, I was thinking there is no chance of this actually working, because not only is it a PC game, and if you know old PC games, you know, the disc really doesn't matter, because even if you have the disc, there has to be a code somewhere that you have to put in to activate the game 99% of the time on old PC games, or at least old PC games with disc. I guess there is some you probably don't have to use a code, but just normally 90% of them there has to be a code with the disc, or else the disc really doesn't matter. Now, you're probably wondering by now, what is that game that I found? What is the game that I got? You're probably wondering. So can I get a drum roll, please?
No!
Okay, well, the game is darkvoid. Now, I personally never heard of this game before, or even seen this game before, or seen any advertising. The point is, I have no idea what this game is, which is part of the reason why I grabbed it. But as you can see on the case of the game, it says Games for Windows, which is not the best of signs, because Games for Windows is dead, and a lot of games that use that service either don't work at all anymore, or takes some modification in the files to get the game working again. But it doesn't say Games for Service or Games for Windows Live, it just says Games for Windows. I don't know, maybe that makes a difference or something, I'm not really sure. But let's just pop this disc in and see if it works to begin with. And yes, before you ask, I still have a DVD drive in my PC. I ran the setup and the games installer popped up, and this is where I first thought this wasn't going to work at all, as the progress bar for 10 whole minutes didn't really want to move. So for the first 10 minutes, the progress bar for installing the game didn't move, and then finally at the last minute it moved and finished within a minute. But then there was an error message once it was done, so I thought it broke or didn't completely finish when it installed, but everything ended up being just fine and it booted up with no issues, which was a huge surprise. Now, the game starts out with you flying this jetpack suit thing that kind of reminds me of Iron Man, but not at the same time, whatever you want to call it. It's like a jetpack suit, but it's not great. The flying levels, or the flying part of this game, it kind of sucks. The controls are not that great, the movement feels bad, you feel slow, and the shooting while flying around isn't that fun either, because the shooting doesn't seem like it has any power behind it, and sometimes I didn't even know I hit the enemies as I was shooting at the enemies, because it just didn't feel like I was hitting the enemies, because there really wasn't much meaty sound effects that made it feel like, wow, you know, I hit those enemies, my guns actually do some damage. It didn't feel like that. It just felt like I was just like a snail. I was like a flying snail shooting water balloons or something. I don't know, but it didn't feel great is what I'm saying.
Now, shoot him down with your rocket pack. Take him out, take him out. Let's make him pay.
Once you get past the flying parts of the game, though, it's actually okay. I mean, it's not really that great. It kind of reminds me of a more sci-fi version of Uncharted, but it also, you know, it has worse gameplay than Uncharted, and there's just something about most of the guns that I just don't like for some reason. They all just feel weak, honestly. I think that's why. They just feel extremely weak. Except for like one gun feels slightly powerful, but it's actually weak. Like, it sounds powerful, but it's still weak. So all the guns are just kind of weak. But in the cutscenes, the guns are always just like one-shotting enemies and just like blowing their heads up and stuff. But in the actual gameplay, it takes like 30 shots to take out an enemy. But in the cutscene, it's like one shot.
I guess I got here just in time.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I also didn't find myself that invested in the story, as I find the characters kind of bland, and I actually kind of dislike the character that you play as. Like, I don't even remember his name of the character that you play as, but I actually kind of dislike him, and I feel like the story either progresses too fast, or it just doesn't do enough for you to actually care about what is going on or what happens to the characters. At least for me, that's what I was getting. So I didn't care about any of the characters or the story really. So in my opinion, you have average gameplay mixed with average story. And I'm not gonna lie, I also didn't really like the theme or the setting of the game, so I don't think that helped. So all those things combined, and this game was just kind of bland for me. So I probably won't ever play it again, but it was interesting to go on a journey to see if the game was even going to work, what it was. And it's also a game that apparently came out in like 2009, 2010. So it was just interesting to check out an older game and see if it even works still. But yeah, I probably won't play this game again. And I think it's probably, I haven't played through the whole thing, so I probably can't give like a full review on it or full thoughts on it, but I don't think it's good enough for me to go back to, is what I'm saying. So as of now, we're just gonna pop the disc out, put it back in its coffin, and leave it alone for the rest of its existence. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you guys think about possibly turning this into a series, and what you guys think about the game. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because you want to be subscribed, and I'll see you next time.